EA Sports is finally giving in to the mob, basically us, and will be giving us a college football game on next-gen consoles. I want to talk about my thoughts on that here in just a second. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. EA Sports, y'all. It's in the game. And they're actually doing something that we have all been begging for. It looks like EA Sports is going to bring back a college football game. In theory, reviving their NCAA franchise. Even though it doesn't appear it's going to be the same. Now, for those that are uninitiated, EA Sports had created, of course, the greatest game ever, in my personal opinion, which is college football, or NCAA football. And they made one every year. And 2013 was the last one that came out, which was NCAA 14 with Denard Robinson on the cover. I am a big-time advocate of that game because I play a ton of it. As you can see, this is how I spent most of my quarantine, on NCAA 14 with Denard Robinson on the cover. Probably the best one of the versions that they made. And so they tweeted out earlier this week that they're going to bring back the franchise. Had EA college football on it. Everyone got excited. I went batshit, not going to lie, because I just love the game. But it appears there's going to be a lot of differences to it in comparison to times past. First thing I noticed is that it did not say NCAA on it. It said college football. So that tells me there's going to be some big changes. So I went through, reading some articles from ESPN as well as The Athletic, and Nicole Auerbach, awesome writer, had some good information in regards to this. And this is basically what she's saying. That it appears this is going to be a college football game, but it's not going to be NCAA. So it's not going to keep the franchise going. It's going to be part of the next-gen consoles, so we don't have a date for it. It's not going to be 2022, probably won't even show up 2023. And it looks like they're not going to leverage any of the players' likenesses or appearances, jersey numbers, or anything. It's going to be completely different than what it was in years past. Whereas if you go play NCAA 14 and you go to Michigan and you go look at number 16 on that roster, he moves, runs, thinks just like Denard Robinson. But it's not. But it is Denard Robinson. But the new versions won't be like that. So we'll be playing this version of it not like we used to. So it feels like the way they're going to go with it is, and this is my thought process behind it, when you played NCAA, you didn't ever play just one season. Like, once you get into the game, you're addicted. Like I said, I've been playing this through the pandemic, and I'm on year 23 with my Tennessee Volunteers, 10 national championships, and I actually just added a new coach who's now the coach of Oregon to compete with myself just because I love the game so much. And once you get about 5 or 6 years in, that's when it's basically all your recruits, all of your roster, all your players, no more former players on the team. And that's what it seems like they're going to do. They're going to randomize the creation of players. Hopefully they extend out how many options are there, numbers, names. Because, man, if there's anything you can do with NCAA that's fun, is the name game. Because a lot of them names don't match up with the person that they created. I promise you, it's hilarious. But outside of that, it's going to be completely different than what it was on the old consoles. But Nicole also mentioned in an article that they're watching the NIL rulings, which is the name, likeness, and identity legislation that's out there that senators have put out to allow players to be able to profit all of those things, as their name, their image, and their likeness. And so the EA Sports is watching that closely. And I think at that point is when they may take in consideration of using actual players once they can find a way to do it. So now if they have the name college football on it, they will have the actual schools, stadiums, and all of that. they're working through CLC, which is a collegiate licensing company underneath Learfield Entertainment, who does like ticketing for a lot of schools and stuff. But they also house licensing and trademarking for schools with two different arms. They're leveraging that. So they'll have over 100 plus schools and everything with their stadiums, colors, traditions, fight songs. So we'll have that portion of what we used to get from NCAA. We just won't have the players. Which, if you want me to be quite honest, I'm fine with that. Just give me schools, randomize the rosters, randomize who's going to be the greats, use maybe some historical information about them, championships and all of that to determine who will be the good teams, who will be the bad teams, and then we can go into it. And let's just duke it out and have fun. Because if there's any game that is addictive in comparison to anything else, it's college football. I mean, that's where me and my buddies got just sucked into recruiting. We spent hours. Like, I spent a good 12 hours playing NCAA 14 when I first fired it back up, and all I did was recruiting. I didn't even play the game yet. I was busy looking at stats. I was looking at specs. I was looking at height, weight, 40 times, determining if I want only fast guys, finding running backs that can bench press 400 pounds, squat 600, and run a 4.340. Very few ever show up on there, but they do show up. And then, of course, I would create my own recruits. Got to put myself in the game, make myself a wide receiver at some school that I really want to go to, and hopefully from Oklahoma, but hopefully get recruited by my own school. And you can, like I said, with all that information, man, you get addicted and sucked in. And I'm hoping that they bring us that. So if there's anything I ask EA Sports to give us in this game, I'm going to ask for really three things. One, use the similar engines that you did for NCAA 14. Make it similar gameplay, but add some tweaks, some newer, next gen featuring to it. Maybe some better catches, some cooler tackles, things like that. The second thing I really want them to do is expand the coaching information. I want historical data on coaches. I want the ability to hire my own coordinators. I want to know if that coordinator is any good, is he bad? Was he a head coach in the past? How did he fare as a head coach? I want more details in that portion of it because I think the recruiting part is the part that's, like I said, sucks you in the most. And then the last thing we have to have, if you don't do anything else, please give me this one thing. Get rid of the power behind teams that run the wishbone and the triple option nonstop. I cannot tell you how many times I go up against one of these military schools and they're 12-1, 12-0, dang near every year. They overpowered the run game on that, and I need you guys to fix that. Just, if anything, don't let those schools dominate like that because they ain't dominating in real life. And because they're so dominant with those records are leading to more recruits. And let's fix that, guys. Let's fix it. So, I don't know about you all, but I'm super excited. Please tell me what you think. Tell me your level of excitement if you even play NCAA. I actually want to even know if you guys can remember any great recruits that you had. Because that, like I said, is the one thing that's just so amazing about NCAA football. The one thing that sucks you in the most is the recruiting portion. So, let me know what you think.